Welcome everyone to Programming Definitions. In this series we talk about different key words that developers use on a day-to-day basis. Today we cover static. We will discuss static memory, static variables, static members, and static methods. To begin, we ask, what is static memory? Since this is going to be the basis of our entire subject of static. Static memory is memory that's allocated during compile time as opposed to runtime. Every other type of memory that we're using when we're programming is allocated at runtime. That means when you declare a variable, the system then allocates the memory when you declare the variable. In static memory, we're actually allocating that before the program even runs. So this type of memory is quite significant. That also means, though, that in order to use static memory, we also need to know what the exact size that we need before we even run the program. Now that we know what static memory is, we can actually move on to talk about static variables. With static variables, it's just simply a variable that is in the static memory. And since we know how big variables are by their definitions and their types, we can actually allocate that memory in advance like we were talking about before. All languages implement static differently. In some languages, global variables are static, whereas in other languages, you may need a keyword to declare something to be static. Since static memory is also allocated at compile time rather than runtime, that also means that when you declare a static variable, across the entire program that variable will remain consistent, meaning any threads that you have will see the same content inside of that variable. Next we move to a word that's not typically mentioned, but it's important to know what this word means in case it ever comes up. That word is static member. A static member is either a variable or a method that's declared within a class while also being static. This is an important case because we need to realize that since static memory is allocated at compile time, that we can't account for multiple class instances. So across all of the instances of classes, we have the same variable. Everything's shared, much like as if you have a thread accessing a static variable. Everything remains consistent. Lastly, we want to talk about a static method. A static method is the same thing as a static member, except for it's specific to methods rather than variables. The important thing to realize here is that, again, since it's static memory, it's allocated at compile time. That means we can't account for multiple instances of classes. A static method is only created one time, and then it's shared between all of the classes. That concludes this video of programming definitions, where we've now talked about the keyword static and seen a couple use cases of it. If this video is helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you need more help, don't forget to check us out at our website, andtutoring.com.